Good morning, everybody, and it is an exciting morning because, of course, after a long wait, we finally have a look at 77093. This is going to be the initial reaction, and I'll follow down with a more detailed breakdown because, unfortunately, we don't have full images of the set. But given the scenario, and you know my previous policy of covering leaks, I was reluctant to even cover this one, but just through the nature of schedule, I've decided to do it just because otherwise, well, all this information is going to be out of date, and I wanted to provide the LEGO Zelda coverage for you guys. So this is going to be set 77093 for retailing for 100 Great British Pounds, $129.99 in the US, and 120 euros in the Eurozone. It's going to be released on March 1st for 1,003 pieces, and honestly, I think this represents some pretty good value. And you may notice I'm significantly less excited than I was for the Decathlon, and that's because, of course, I have a little bit of bias. Ocarina is not my favourite game, although I fully acknowledge that it is completely iconic. However, I think this set has been executed incredibly well. However, not without some faults and flaws, which, of course, we're going to discuss with you here today, and, of course, in a more detailed breakdown. So I want to also reiterate that there are definitely more hidden secrets still to come, but I want to actually start by taking a look at the Ganon build here, because I think this is my favourite part of the set and is absolutely incredible. What an amazing brick built creature. It is the closest thing we've gotten to this is the Balrog, so that kind of gives you an idea. Maybe it's a little bit bigger, but that kind of construction, and I really liked how that was put together. So I think this has been absolutely incredibly done. I can't wait to find out who the designer was. I specifically love that we have got a fabric cape here. I was kind of expecting this to be brick built or not present at all, so this is absolutely great to see. And I love all of the muscle definition as well. It looks really great, specifically going down into the rainbow tail, where, to be honest, the dark bluish grey actually works for me, and I love that that's been replicated here as an in-game detail rather than compared to his sort of model on the design. Now, when we talk about the Ganondorf minifigure, we're going to be talking about colour blocking. However, they've been roughly inconsistent with the minifigure, including the tan sort of markings with the dark red that flows into the cape. And once again, I love how this torso has been shaped. There's barely any gaps in the arms, although I do reckon that probably makes them less posable. And in particular, the face with the horns looks incredible, going into sort of 3 or 4 printed pieces here, 2 slopes on the side, which will have to be unique prints to be mirrored. What looks like an evil Korok on the pig snout nose, which is a piece we've used on Ganons in the past, and then this 3-angled wedge piece here, which has the eyes and the crown on, flowing into this beautiful mane. It's all been executed absolutely incredible. As far as I know, everything here is a print as well. I love how the feet have been done with the feces, and you can even notice tufts of fur coming off the backs of the arms as well. And of course, without stating it, we've got a brand new piece here for the dual swords, actually, which reminds me of the attacks you see in Hollow Knight, actually, from the Pure Vessel or Radiance and stuff like that. I also wanted to point out, of course, that he looks like he can hold these, which means they probably are removable, although that's not a guarantee. And then, of course, if you're a parts fan, there's probably going to be lots of recolors into dark green. I think the 1x2 pill rounded piece, as well as the muscle definition here that's been done in the 2x2 rounded as well. There's probably some more that I'm just not picking up on, that's hidden details. But overall, I love this sculpt. When it sort of came out that this was going to be what they were doing and they were going to have a Ganon here, can't lie, I was expecting it in teal, but yeah, green is the more accurate colour. This is beyond my expectations, although I knew it would be incredible because modern age creature design is just fantastic. When I heard about the set as a whole, I was initially worried that this was going to skew more towards the other side of the fight with the organ, and I really do hope there is an organ included. I really hope there's something hidden inside that tower. However, going for the battle route and including most of the budget in a Ganon was indeed the right choice. Although I can't lie, I was hoping for a little bit more, as when we initially saw this teaser, it looked a little bit more freeform, and I can't help but compare it to the endgame final battle, as just the use of a base, while absolutely perfect for adult displays, does leave a lot to be desired. And it's at this point in the video where I want to iterate that LEGO Zelda can be more than this, guys. LEGO Zelda should be a full playset theme. It's all right to have these adult options, but you cannot tell me that having this mech Ganon, even if it was slightly less detailed as something for kids, would not be the better option. As the trailer really led me to believe that we're going to have like a separate piece for fire, sort of on a 2x4, have some of the walkway sections and some rubble, and then the tower in the back, but it was going to be removable and rearrangeable. You could even still have the fire in a large strip, just to make things more customizable. And I can't lie and say that or a 7th version of this set would be more preferable to me. LEGO Zelda can indeed and should be more than just these perfect adult display models. Now, don't let other people tell you otherwise, because there's going to be a lot of people fawning over this because of nostalgia, and don't get me wrong, they are right to. It is an amazing set. Zelda can be more than this. Quite frankly, I really love the dynamic nature of this, specifically with Link sort of flying up ready to do the chop sword, and of course having the 2 different angles of display for this. One where you've got them fighting the Beast Ganon, then removing Beast Ganon off to the side so that you can have Ganondorf rising up from the rubble. And we've got to talk about it because I've just spent all this time talking about play features. I'm so glad that there is an included play feature for him to rise out of the rubble. That's fantastic and exactly the kind of thing I wanted to see. I just wanted to see more of that and skew it slightly towards that younger age demographic, which is not something we have because of this base. I really do think that a freeform setup would have been ideal, although not a perfect solution. There's just something off about it because I like all the builds, but the tower maybe feels a little bit small, but also I kind of like when they cheapify stuff like this. So I love that it sort of angles outwards. I really, really know there's something on the inside. I just don't know what it is yet. There is, of course, idea that Navi is included. As you can see, the Megaton hammer is supposed to be included, so that should be stored somewhere, hopefully under a piece of rubble or something, because that would be a great use of space, maybe underneath the walkway that Zelda's on. And then, of course, there's also recovery hearts included in this set. Again, that could be in some rubble. That would be really interesting to see embedded, and that would sort of leave my joy. So I'm trying not to judge too harshly, as this is definitely a set that I'll be picking up day one. I was going to many because I love all Zelda stuff, even if I didn't like the set. And I do think that they've delivered. It has that sort of feeling inside me, like this could be more or could be slightly different. Maybe it's just the fact that Ocarina isn't my favourite game, but I cannot stress enough how much that Ganon build is incredible. Anyway, back to the rubble. I really like this roof section, of course, which can lift up. We'll talk about Ganondorf in a section, and I also want to draw your attention to this sort of curve of hexagonal paths, as if almost the tower has collapsed like it does in Pancake Game, where you've got the tower in the middle, and then the walkway from the walkway escape has been sort of done here. I'm really interested to see if anyone can rebuild the tower. Initially, I thought that using Orthanc or Barad-dûr would be a good way, but I can see that the parts they've used are very different, so I don't know if there'd be any old build potential from me. Let me know down in the comments as well. Let's talk about the minifigures. The Ocarina of Time link comes over from the Deku Tree set and is identical. This was expected, and honestly highlights to me that we need a Breath of the Wild one of these versus a Guardian. It would be perfect. They should have released on the same day as this. I hope this one does well so that we can continue to see more sets, and that they hear me and listen, and we voice our desire for playset stuff as well. Hylian Shield looks incredible, same dual molded legs. It's really good to have this figure available at a cheaper price, although I can't lie, having the Breath of the Wild one available at a cheaper price is just as important for that younger generation that don't know what Ocarina of Time is. I love the hairpiece and the Master Sword and Hylian Shield back here is incredible. Navi also exactly the same, which then just leaves us with Princess Zelda and Ganondorf. The Zelda here is my favourite figure in the set. She looks absolutely incredible. I love the purple dress piece and the lavender. It's on spot on. The shoulder armour, and then of course the hairpiece with that orange colour or yellowish orange colour is also perfect as well. We've also got the light beast radiating out of her hand, and that looks also amazing. I just love how they're able to do energy effects, and I really appreciate that we're getting like power signatures and stuff like that. And then, of course, the main draw for a lot of people in the star of the show is, of course, going to be that Ganondorf minifigure. And I absolutely love the new hair mold that they've created for him. I think that is really perfect. It's shocking how close this is to the Artem Bezayasiv castle version. And then, of course, there's the shoulder piece, which I believe isn't new, although it's kind of hard to tell. My favourite part of this feature is, of course, the cape, which is done in dark red with the Ozio highlights, and it just looks amazing, amazing, amazing. Actually, I have decided that shoulder piece is new. I think it looks very similar to an existing one, but I'm pretty sure they've never printed on that before, so it probably is a new mould. I could be wrong on that. And then, oh, actually, it is new because, oh, no, sorry, it's not new. It is the existing heavy armor shoulder piece, and all of those details are printed on the front of it, which is going to make him a much thicker figure, which is incredibly interesting. That's really, really cool. I really like that. So if you don't know what I mean, that's a shoulder armor piece going over the top with a cape over the top. His face is great. A lot of people are going to complain about the lack of pupils, but I actually really like that as a design language, and I think he looks absolutely great. The only part I don't like is that sort of the cloth accents have been done in tan to match with the Ganon figure, whereas I would have done them in white, because on the figure they're sort of cleaner and they would fit here, just looking a little bit better. I think that would have been my choice there, would have been to do this in white for a little bit more contrast. Maybe I'm just used to it based off what I've done with my purist customs and stuff in the meantime. But yeah, despite maybe having slightly different hopes for how this was going to go, I think this looks incredible. I'm going to be more than happy to display this next to my tree. I think it's looking incredible. We need a Breath of the Wild version of this. We need playsets. We really, really, really need playsets. I also think that the value proposition looks amazing here, unless you are a child, obviously. I don't mean from the perspective of a child can't afford this, but if you are a child that wants to play with this, the value here is not great, because realistically the Ganon and the figures are all you've got, and then the rest of it is sort of rubble display, which I do not think that they would appreciate. This is targeted more towards kid collectors, T-foes, A-foes, and the lovers of display, and of course the soft-core Zelda fans that love the nostalgia. But if you're someone wanting to play for this, spending 100 on this is not going to be the best value for you. However, otherwise, this represents incredible, incredible value. So in short, love the set. I'll absolutely be happy to buy this day one. I can't think of any old builds for this right now, but I'm really excited to have Ganon and Ganondorf in my collection specifically. The new Zelda is my highlight, and I really hope that there's some more secrets to discover in my full breakdown coming, probably within the next 3 or so days. I'm really excited to see all the little references that are pulled off as well, and I hope that there's something hidden in the base, learning from last time. This is an incredible follow-up. However, I just cannot shake this nagging feeling that something is missing, or that something could be different. This is not what I envisioned LEGO Zelda to be. I'm very glad to have it, and I'm very appreciative to the designers that continue to bring us these high quality models. However, it can be more than this, and I'd really love to see that executed on. Let me know your thoughts down below, and I hope you guys agree that there is just something missing, or something eating away at me, and I will see you for the full breakdown and a return to normal channel videos in a couple of days. Bye bye.